Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is about 6:05 a.m. here on a Friday, and well, it's actually almost 6:30 now, and it's about 36 degrees this morning. We have a light frost, and the temperatures are starting to warm up, and we're starting to dry things out a bit. We've had a lot of rain the last several months, and that's gotten the soil real prepped to be able to work to start tilling up the ground a bit. I do it the old-fashioned way with the shovel and a hoe. So basically, what we're going to be doing is getting ready to start our garden here this year. I'll be looking at A&P Nurseries this morning just to see what they got out, get an idea of what they got going for seeds and see if they got the potatoes in yet. And temperatures are starting to warm up enough at night to around 40, 45 degrees and into the 60s and 70s during the day where we can start planting potatoes here in Arizona. And this year I'm going to do a small patch. I'm going to get about 10, maybe 12 potatoes. And we'll have a couple of good plants growing there. And I'll give you a step-by-step instruction on how to do that. But in the meantime, we're going to go look here today and see what we got going for potatoes. Hopefully they got them in. We had a lot of rain this year, so I don't know if they got them in yet. Usually on wet, rainy years, we don't tend to get the potatoes early. We tend to get them later in the season. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. I've been looking up for late March, April, and May's weather, and according to the almanac, we're going to have a lot of rain those months. Late March, April, and May look wet. And you don't necessarily want saturated soil for potatoes. You just want decently moist, but not saturated soil, because if the soil's saturated, they're gonna end up rotting in the ground. You don't want to do that. So this will be my third or fourth year growing potatoes. I've gotten a couple good potatoes before, and what I'm hoping for this year is that they get a little bit bigger. I've had some pretty small potatoes, and they're still edible. They're good, but I'm hoping to get them a little bigger this year, and I'm going to go a little bit easier on the nitrogen this year too. So we're going to get those potatoes planted hopefully within the next week or two. If they get them in today, hopefully they have some there. And I want to buy them when they start getting some spuds on them, some little spuds starting to come out. I don't want to get them when they're just a potato, because you have to let them sit a long time. But I'm going to weather them anyway. Weathering is basically putting them outside, getting them acclimated to temperature changes, and 40s at night, and then 50s in the afternoon, and then 70s by the end of the day. So yeah, we're going to try to get them acclimated to temperature. So we're going to get those potatoes planted here for you in the next couple of weeks here, and I'll have garden updates as it comes along, as it starts warming up. Some of the trees are starting to bud, some little buzz on the trees right now, starting to flower up in some spots. We have some wildflowers coming up in the deserts right now. So spring is starting to show its signs here in the desert Southwest after a wet winter. So we should have a beautiful bloom this year too in the desert, and we're looking for a wet summer. So summer cropping should be looking pretty good this year too. It's supposed to be cooler than average and wetter than average, so we might have an extended growing season past July this year. So we'll keep you guys posted. I'm also going to be doing pumpkins this year again. We've been having a lot of problem with rats, so what I'm going to do is go to Home Depot or Lowe's and pick up some rat traps and some rat bait, so they eat that instead of eating my pumpkins and melons this year. We're going to do watermelon this year too. We're going to do that over in the far part of the garden, the south side, and we'll do watermelon out there. I did them under the shade a little bit last year, and they didn't grow. They didn't do very good. They started growing and they rot, so we're not going to do that this year. I'm going to grow those in the back. Hopefully get some good watermelons this year, and a couple of honeydew melons and some cantaloupe as well. So I did cantaloupe a couple years ago. I did really good. We got some good cantaloupes off of that, a couple pounds each. And they were juicy, sweet, and delicious. Hopefully we can get a good crop of cantaloupe this year too. But we got to watch for them damn rats, because they really like to eat everything that you plant. So hopefully I can get the rats under control this year. I haven't seen them around yet, but usually when it starts warming up and I start planting, they start coming out. So I got to battle the rodents this year again. But yeah, we're gonna have a good garden this year, I hope. I'm gonna do a couple crops of corn and probably some carrots. Hopefully I can get some carrots in the ground, some beets, and definitely them potatoes. So we'll keep you guys posted, and we'll have some garden updates as we go along. Talk to y'all later.